Hey, yo, welcome back. You know what it is, man. This is not a podcast. It's just my thoughts with Rob Markman. All right. Today is June 25th. All right. So back in 1996, on this very day, Jay-Z released his classic debut, Reasonable Doubt. Just want to make a video, talk about it, man, and tell y'all a little bit about my experience with the album. I want to talk about the Radio City Music Hall 10th anniversary concert, too, because that was amazing. But basically, the record came out June 25th, 1996. I feel like school was done already. We were just on summer school. I was in high school at the time. And, me and my friends, like, just used to buy every CD that came out. And when we couldn't afford it, like, somebody would buy it and we would all, like, sit together and listen to it and then decide if the rest of us wanted to get it, if it was worth buying. So I remember my man, Ant Young, shout out to Ant Young, wherever you at. He had bought Reasonable Doubt and brought it over to my crib and we listened to it in my crib, just kind of like dissecting the music, listening to the music. And I remember, if I'm being honest, the album is a classic. Jay is my favorite rapper. He wasn't my favorite rapper at the time, though. You know what I'm saying? He grew into that, but Jay's my favorite rapper. Jay's my favorite artist. And at the time, I was disappointed in the album, like off of first listen, right? And what it was, I was becoming a Jay fan. And, I remember like Hawaiian Sophie with Jazzo from back in the day and the originators, but I didn't think much of Jay as a rapper. I'm not saying like I didn't think much of him, like literally did not think of him. He didn't cross my mind as much. Like I had saw those videos on Video Music Box, and when the videos went off, I didn't necessarily think about those records past when they would play on Video Music Box or when you would hear them on Mix Show on the radio. And it wasn't really until Original Flavor dropped Can I Get Open in 1994, and Jay was featured on that. Ski produced that. That's when I was like, yo, this dude is ill. Yo, this is crazy. And then Show and Prove came out. Big Daddy Kane's Show and Prove. It was a record with Big Daddy Kane, Old Dirty Bastard, Shaheem the Rugged Child, Jay-Z. Those both came out in 94. Can I Get Open and Show and Prove. And I was like, nah, son is crazy. And that's when I really started becoming a Jay fan. And then from there I connect, oh, that was the guy from that video from like years earlier. You know what I'm saying? And so this is 94. All right, he's on my radar. I'm like, nah, son is ill. And then we get to 95 and it's I Can't Get With That, In My Lifetime remix. And at that point I'm like, oh, I'm a fan. Like I'm a Jay-Z fan. So, his singles again, In My Lifetime, and the remix, and I Can't Get With That. So when we get Reasonable Doubt, and you gotta remember at the time, I had those on tape that I would record off the radio or for Stretch and Bobbito. Shout out to Stretch and Bobbito. It was a college radio station. So it wasn't the highest quality. So with the debut album coming out, like, oh, I get to all these songs that I already love that I have on tape that I played a million times. Now I have it on CD on the highest quality. So I was looking forward to that, right? And he also had the single out then, but I didn't cop the single. I think I copped In My Lifetime on vinyl later, or the tape as well. But the CD comes out and my favorite songs aren't on it. So I'm disappointed right off the bat. And then he also had switched up Dead Presidents on me. Dead Presidents 2. There was an original version of Dead Presidents. So there was this thing of this artist who I was growing to love, and his debut album didn't have the songs that I loved from him, the songs that made me love him. And I was like, nah, man, I don't know if I'm getting this, man. He's switching up, man. He switched up. And it took me a couple weeks, like well into the summer at that point, that I'm like, nah, I gotta have it. Like you just keep hearing it everywhere you go. You just keep hearing more and more songs. So I didn't get the album until later. I didn't get the CD till later in the summer. And the thing about Reasonable Doubt is nobody, I don't want to say nobody, right? But hip hop as a whole did not crown that as a classic right away. Like it grew, like it kind of was like, every time you revisited it, you're like, yo, this is timeless. This is timeless. Like, so it wasn't like it came out and it was this instant classic. You know what I'm saying? It was something that had to grow over time. So I'm just being honest with my experience. Fast forward June 2006, I'm freelancing. I'm working in the mailroom still. but I'm freelancing for Double XL, for The Source, for Vibe. I'm just writing articles where I can and getting paid, hoping to one day get a job at one of these magazines. And so I started freelancing in 2004, 2006. I'm 2 years into my freelance career, right? But I'm still working a 9 to 5. I have my son. I'm working in the mailroom. I'm trying to feed my family. I'm trying to get a job in the music industry. I'm trying to save up to buy a crib. I'm doing all these things at once. I'm still doing music. Like I'm trying to make a lot of things happen. But up until that point, I had never asked anybody at any magazine or any connection that I had built in the music industry for anything. I never wanted to be that guy to me, all that mattered was the work and the bylines. So, concerts, I wouldn't ask nobody for concert tickets or to get me into parties or none of that. Like if it was part of my assignment, I would go. But, they had announced that Jay was doing a 10-year anniversary concert at Radio City Music Hall to celebrate Reasonable Doubt, and he would be performing the whole album. Now, at this point, I had missed out on the Fade to Black concert. I didn't go to that because, one, I wasn't in the industry yet, and then two, I didn't have the bread to do it. Again, I'm working this mailroom job. At this point, I'm trying to get myself through college. I'm living on my own, paying rent. Like I just didn't have the money to spend on a concert ticket. So I didn't get to go to the Fade to Black concert, and I didn't get to go to that Jay-Z and Friends concert that happened in MSG after the R. Kelly debacle. R. Kelly left the tour after their incident, and then Jay-Z called out like everybody to perform with him the next night. So I didn't get to go to those two concerts, and those were historic. And I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna miss this Reasonable Doubt joint. So I hit up, shout out to Leah Rose. Leah Rose, famed editor at Double XL, super dope person, super instrumental, especially early on in my career, helping me like refine my pen, helping me navigate how to just work, especially in print, but in the music industry as a whole. So Leah Rose was super chill. And so I said, man, I'm just going to call Leah, man. I never asked for no ticket. I never asked for nothing before. So I hit up Leah because Double XL was sponsoring the concert, right? Like Double XL. So here we're going to fast forward a bit. Did these programs, right? So you see the Double XL logo. There's a poster too. I'm going to hang up a poster on the back wall. But Double XL did the program, so I still got the program. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Boom, man. And this was the making of Reasonable Doubt. But anyway, so this was like on everybody's chair when you sat down. This and a poster, a T-shirt. I still got the T-shirt. I might have the ticket stub somewhere too. But anyway, so I asked Leah Rose, yo, can I get a ticket? Please, like I really want to go. So Leah was like, yeah, I'll get you a ticket, but you have to write a concert review for the next issue of Double XL. And that was like her trade-off. Like I think maybe she was assigned to do it and she had a lot of work on her plate. So she was like, all right, I'll give you a ticket, but you got to work for it. For me, it was a win-win. I was like, word, okay, yo, I got that. Because for me, I'm like, oh, I get to go to the concert and I get the byline in Double XL magazine. Like that still meant something to me. That was huge. And I get paid for it. Like you're essentially paying me to go to the concert. This is crazy. So I went, and then the concert review appeared in this issue. This is September 2006. This is the 6th anniversary, or the 9th anniversary issue. And I'll scan this. I'll probably put this on the gram or something like that. But, I had written that review for it, right? But it was crazy. Like the concert. So, it starts out Jay just drives out in the 96 all white Lexus GS. So they drive the Lexus onto the stage. This is the joint that he had. Like Jay was famous for having this Lexus. And he hops out, he's wearing a white tux. There's like a 50-piece orchestra. And then he starts out with Regrets, the last song on the album. So he starts to perform the album from the last song to the first song. So he's performing the album in reverse order. So he did Regrets. He did Bring It On. Source Money came out from Bring It On. That was dope. Jazzo wasn't there because Jay and Jazz was at odds at the time. So it kind of sucked that Jazz wasn't there. But Source Money was there. Foxy came out and did Ain't No. Jay, obviously, rest in peace, B.I.G., no longer with us. Jay and the crowd rapped Big's verses on Brooklyn's Finest. So that was ill. Beyonce came out for Can't Knock the Hustle instead of Mary J. Blige. So that was big. That was different. Like I remember like, damn, I wish I could have seen Mary to do it. But Beyonce also is like ill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Beyonce doing Can't Knock the Hustle. And then so the concert ends, he does Reasonable Doubt from back to front. And then he leaves, stage goes dark, and he comes back dressed in regular clothes, like in a shirt and jeans, and Bleak is with him being his hype man, and then he just ran through all the other hits that wasn't on Reasonable Doubt. And the funny thing to me about that show always is anybody who there could attest to this, there were cameras all over the place. Like there were cameras on like wire on the ceiling with cameras zooming in and out. Like it was a full on production. They were filming this thing for sure. There were multiple cameras, multiple angles. They were filming this thing, and we never saw the footage. Oh, one thing I forgot too, Jay did the 44 Force freestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know Reasonable Doubt, they have 22 twos. He did a whole new verse, 44 fours. That's floating around on the internet. If I find it, I'm gonna put the link in the description. So you know, but I'm like, yo, we need that footage. Like I'm waiting for Jay, for Roc Nation to release that footage. Like I feel like maybe for the 30-year anniversary they might do it in a couple of years. We'll see. And then for the 20-year anniversary in 2016, you know, I'm at Genius and I interviewed Kareem Biggs Burke. For those of y'all that know, Biggs is the co-founder of Roc-A-Fella Records, along with Jay, along with Dame. And you know, I sat with him for Genius. I'm gonna put the link in the description as well. And we spoke about the album from Big's perspective, like Big's favorite songs, what was Big's role in the album, what did Big think about the album, like the impact and all of that. And one of the things that he and I talked about that was dope, and again, y'all can check it out, link in the description, and I'm gonna put the link to all the songs, is the songs that didn't make the album. Like he was telling me like there's a early version of Black Gangster, like an original version of the Black Gangster record that was produced by Ski, that was like made in that Reasonable Doubt era but didn't make the album. There's a song called Reach the Top that was produced by Clark Kent that didn't make the album. There's a song called Hot, which I don't believe is out there anywhere. I think Big said they just can't find a record that didn't make the album. A record called 95 South that J fans know, heard about. There's a snippet hanging around out there. I'm gonna put that link in the bio, but I mean, I'm gonna put that link in the description. So there were some records that didn't make it, but like if we look back at it, those records didn't make it for a reason. Like we have a classic, and I can't imagine Reasonable Doubt any other way, man. What that album did, not just for Jay's career and built that career, but what it did for Roc-A-Fella, what it did to inspire us to just want to own our own stuff, be masters of our own destiny, control our own thing. And then the soundtrack to that was super ill. So those are just my thoughts on Reasonable Doubt. You know, it's the anniversary. I wanted to do something. I wanted to share a little bit with y'all because y'all seen the light when I go back in my magazine, in my writing days, in that bag. So tell y'all a little about those stories. And then in the comments, we just going to talk about it. What's your favorite things about Reasonable Doubt? Like what do you appreciate the most, man? So like, subscribe, comment. I'm here, all right? Peace.